My name's Curt Horvath. I'm a professor here in molecular biosciences in the research buildings here. We're surrounded right now in the synchrotron of science. So all these buildings represent all the people whose grants are under threat, whose lives and pastimes have been short-circuited. And today, I was asked to join you to help stand up for science and talk about some things that are important to me. I've spent about 30 years studying viruses and antiviral immunity and basic molecular mechanisms of disease and how to turn those insights into medicine. And I don't know if any of you read the New York Times like I do, but today there was a great opinion piece by Ken Jennings. Ken Jennings, yeah, let's hear it for the GOAT. Ken Jennings, the host of Jeopardy, he wrote, "The scientific consensus in fields like climate change and vaccine efficacy is no longer the official position of the American government." How about a boo for that one? Thank you. "Inconvenient experts who push back can be removed by executive order. Inconvenient books that disagree can be removed from the libraries." How about a boo for that one? Ken suggests that what can eventually save us is a practical belief in fact and error that is more fundamentally American than the toxic blend of proud ignorance and smarter-than-thou skepticism that's brought us to this point. He's the GOAT. He's absolutely right. Science is under attack by the administration. We just heard about it, including the Health Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who chooses to bathe himself in sewage, drink unpasteurized milk, and take cod liver oil to prevent virus infections. This is our Secretary of Health. How about a boo for that? His false claims and open dismissal of careful scientific approval protocols have amplified his unfounded anti-vaccination views. These are fueled by false claims and discredited ideas. It's misinformation that threatens our very existence and the future of science and medicine. So I'm going to give you some truths to stand up for science. The truth is that vaccines are one of the greatest, if not the greatest, triumph of public health ever in the history of the world. Immunization is the single greatest contribution of any health intervention that will ensure that a baby not only sees their first birthday, but continues to lead a healthy life into adulthood. All right, so I want you to just raise your hand or shout out since you're good at the vocalizing. Who here knows anyone who died of measles? Nobody? Tetanus? You know someone who died of whooping cough? Tuberculosis? One couple there. So we're getting down in there. There were many, many more. All right? We're here to push back on this movement with some facts. It's only been 50 years since the World Health Organization began their global immunization campaign in 1975. All right, some of you weren't born, but many of us were. In that time, it's estimated by actual scientific formulas that 154 million lives have been saved by vaccinations. Okay? 154 million lives saved. The measles vaccine alone accounts for 93 million of those lives saved. So why are we questioning the MMR vaccine? Childhood vaccines have saved 100 million lives alone, childhood vaccines. And we're under a great revolution in cancer as well, because there's a vaccine against papillomavirus that's reduced cervical cancer incidence by 80%. 80% less cancer. And this is even higher for women in their 20s and 30s who are just achieving their sexual freedom and being able to get out there fully protected against this virus that causes cancer. All right, none of this includes smallpox, the statistics for smallpox. Now, it was eradicated by global vaccination programs, but if not, it would cost us 5 million lives a year. By the way, those global vaccination programs, the U.S. is no longer supporting them. So look out for Lassa fever, Ebola virus, and you name it, the next pandemic that's coming around, maybe it's going to be bird flu. All right? All right, so what about those big bad COVID shots that we hear so much about? Now, I kind of remember, maybe some of you forgot, but you remember who was the president when they were developed? So suddenly, somehow that's gotten forgotten. But the truth is that these COVID vaccinations saved 1.5 million lives. Mostly people over 60, but it reduced the infection rate, it slowed the transmission, it got people back to work and back to school and helped to recover the economy. Let's not forget that. The thing about these COVID vaccines is they brought to light a new and somewhat miraculous new platform for creating vaccines. mRNA technology was used. It's a safe and effective platform. It's been actually studied and trialed for decades, and it's been deployed in arms worldwide. So the suggestion that mRNA has become equivalent to the enemy, RF and Kennedy falsely and without evidence suggest that mRNA vaccines alter our genetic material, which is complete fiction. He's also claimed that COVID-19 vaccines are among the deadliest ever made, despite evidence from their safety from being injected into all of us and people around the world for the last few years. It's an absurd argument that does not call into effect any scientific studies whatsoever. mRNA vaccination is a great platform. It has a major advantage of enabling us to go from a pathogen sequence to a vaccine without having to grow the virus. You don't have to, the bacteria, you don't have to bring it in your lab. It's fast, it's adaptable, and the applications are far beyond infectious disease for treating chronic and acute diseases. In fact, I had a conversation with one of the Nobel laureates who was awarded the prize for this technology, Drew Weissman, and he told me that his NIH grant got canceled because it was about mRNA vaccines. Woo for that one. So all I can say to RF and K, don't kill the messenger RNA. That was for my humanities colleagues. All right, finally, I just want to acknowledge that it's true that with all medicines, there can be adverse effects. I do not want to misrepresent the fact that some people have a difficult time. People with immune deficiencies are unable to tolerate some types of vaccines. These exceptions are extremely rare compared to the lives saved, the statistics I just mentioned. They're usually due to special circumstances surrounding either the patient or the vaccine formulation. There's not a lot known about what triggers these adverse effects, but I think this can be improved very easily by investing in more research. Yeah! I just want to turn the microphone over to Matt.